I'm Arlen Roth, producer and founder of Hot Licks. Welcome to Lead Masterclass with Vivian Campbell. Hot Licks originally released this title as a VHS tape back in 1984 when Vivian was playing with the heavy metal band Dio. At this time, he and I had become good friends during my time in LA while filming Crossroads. Before that, beginning at the age of just 15, Vivian was already playing professionally with the Irish rock band Sweet Savage. The DVD reissue includes lesson chapters and special features that will add a lot to the learning experience. Vivian plays some blisteringly fast lines in this masterclass, which are very difficult to keep up with if you're trying to play along in real time. That's where the DVD's slow motion special feature will come in handy. It will allow you to watch Vivian's hands at half speed, which still look pretty fast, while listening to his playing at standard pitch. You can also select the loop function and play it over and over until you've really got it right. The slow motion feature can be especially helpful in the first exercise, which is broken up into 4 parts. It's actually the same scale played in different patterns. You may want to first learn the scale from the tab booklet, then try playing along with Vivian at half speed. After his stint with Dio, Vivian went on to play with several popular metal bands including Whitesnake and Def Leppard. On the video, he teaches many of the original and creative techniques that made him such a sought-after guitarist. If you're not familiar with his work with these bands, have a look at the selected discography page to see which CDs he appears on. Other features include Vivian's bio, a tuning menu, and a suggested listening section listing Vivian's influences and albums that he refers to throughout the lesson. The material on this DVD is challenging, but with dedicated practice it can be learned. So good luck with Vivian Campbell's Lead Masterclass, a DVD by a great guitar player and just a wonderful guy. Thanks a lot.
I'm Vivian Campbell, and welcome to Hot Licks Video. Before we proceed today, we'll start by tuning up. Here is a high E. And B. G. D. A. And E. Okay, so now that we're in tune, let's continue with the video. The first thing I'd like to get into would be some warm-up skills, and I'd like to touch on technique. This isn't going to be a video about technique, really, aside from maybe some right-hand uses for muting the strings or for double picking. And we'll start off with a scale. We'll take a scale of, say, B minor, starting on the E6 string on the A. Now, I believe it's important to pick in both directions, both up and down. A lot of guitar players will pick just down strokes, and a lot of guitar players will pick up strokes. And if you have to choose between the two, if you're one of those guitar players, I would always go for the upstroke because it's always easier. You apply less tension when you up pick as opposed to down picking. If you down pick, you tend to lean in too much to the string, and you'll get cramps in your forearm and whatever else, and you'll get a lot of extra string noise. It's really unnecessary. So try just doing a simple scale like this, double picking. Try to start off going on the upstroke and then coming down and alternately. Now, I would suggest that as a guitar player, you practice scales each and every day. It is the only way to loosen your muscles and to keep yourself in such a state that you'll be able to perform in your best. When I was with Dio, I used to practice probably 3, 4, 5 hours a day on the road prior to doing the shows, and I just used to play scales like this. And it's incredibly boring. It's the most tedious thing to do in the world, but it is a very worthwhile thing in the long run. Like I say, you should concentrate on your double picking, up, down, alternating as much as possible. Or if you have a tendency to go one way or the other, lean towards upstrokes. Like guitar players like Jakey Lee and George Lynch would tend to do that kind of thing, and it tends to make you more light with your right hand and you don't dig in so much. We'll try doing a scale like that, maybe a little faster, just with upstrokes. Show you what I mean. So you can pick occasionally down, but most of the time you keep coming up. You can alternate it as much as possible. Ideally, it'd be nice to keep it a constant flowing motion, one up, one down, one up, one down. You don't have to pick every note in the scale. What I was doing earlier was picking every note like this. But you could go for an approach where you pick maybe one in every 3 notes or one in every 4. Try that a few times and try and feel the difference between pulling up with the pick as opposed to leaning into it, and I think you'll see that it'll be a lot easier. Also, I would like to recommend, though it's not something that I do as a guitar player, and this is a bad habit, that I happen to lean in with my thumb onto the back of the neck, if you can see that, and that's not always a good thing. It is an easier way to play guitar, but I think if you watch any of the really great guitar players like Jimi Hendrix or Eddie Van Halen, their thumb is always very relaxed over the top of the fretboard, and they would play their scale kind of like this. As opposed to digging into the back of the neck like this. Now, to start off with, it's easier to play fast if you just happen to push your thumb into the back of the neck like that, but in the long run, it doesn't help you. You'll find that it's very hard to get from one situation into another, from one lick to get back into playing a chord progression, or to change a lick, or to move up the neck. It's very, very restrictive when you're applying pressure with your left hand, and it tends to make it like you're sticking to the fretboard. So you want to keep it as relaxed as possible with both hands. Try loosening up your pick hand. Try, if you feel you're too heavy when you're picking, when you're doing scales like this, try maybe extending your thumb and your finger like that, so that you're not actually leaning the pressure of your arm or your hand on it, so it's just a way out on its own, like this. So that's the kind of thing I mean. If you're not so heavy with that hand, and you're not so heavy with your left hand, then maybe you'll be able to flow more and you'll be able to play scales better. Okay, so still on the subject of technique, and specifically the right hand, we'll discuss muting. That is leaning the palm of your hand near the bridge to dampen the strings, and therefore adding a lot of bottom end and a lot of depth and a lot of clarity to whatever it is you happen to be playing. And they work particularly well when you're muting pull-offs, which was something else I wanted to discuss in this video. A pull-off is hitting 1, 2, or 3, or however amount of notes on an open string, and your last note of that particular scale being the open string. For argument's sake, this is in the key of E. On the B string, this is a pull-off using 3 notes. Now, the difference when I mute it, you can probably hear it punches a lot more, and it's got a lot more drive and more clarity. I'll play it without muting it this time, and you'll hear the difference. Still sounds good, but it's a lot more expansive without muting. If you don't shorten the notes and make them more abrupt, they tend to get very wishy and washy and wispy, and you know, it's the kind of thing that'll get lost when you're playing with a band. So if you really want your sound to cut through, I recommend that you mute a lot when you play solos. It also helps add a lot of feel and a lot of dimension to whatever it is you happen to be playing, be it a chord progression or a scale or a solo or whatever. The ability to stop a string from ringing and going crazy helps create an individual's tone a lot. So we're here still on the right hand. Now, there's another thing that I'm sure a lot of you have noticed about my style, and that is split harmonics. Very effective. But not when you play them like that. Now, a split harmonic is applied if you apply a lot of pressure to the string and you turn the pick to an angle. And get rid of this hair, I'll show you. Instead of picking up and down like this, if you want to hit a harmonic, you turn your pick to the side, you find the spot. Now, there's usually 2 spots in between these 2 pickups right here where you'll find a split harmonic. There are 2 of them on every string. That's one, and that's the other. The difference is like a 4th. It's something that's very common to a lot of blues guitar players, a lot of players who play heavy with the right hand, who have a heavy technique, like Billy Gibbons from ZZ Top. I picked up the habit from Rory Gallagher, who was an Irish blues guitar player. who I first saw years and years ago, and he played a lot of scales like this, where he would actually play whole runs of split harmonics because he leaned in with the pick so heavy. It's something you got to learn to control if you want to use it right. You have a tendency to play far, far too heavy when you do that a lot, and that's something that I was doing myself and something that I'm trying to get away from as a guitar player, and that goes back to the subject of up picking and down picking. You've got to learn to be able to do both, but this is always a useful thing. If you really want your sound to pierce and to cut through, when I was on tour with Dio, who must have been one of the loudest rock and roll bands in the world, a lot of people used to say that whenever we played a big arena where the sound bounces around the walls, the only time that they could ever hear anything I played was when I had a split harmonic, because it's such a high frequency that it just pierces and cuts through everything else. So for all you lead guitar players who are frustrated about not being heard because your singer's too loud, you know, split harmonics are the way to go. Very effective little things. So back to the subject of pull-offs again. There's a lot of them you can do. They basically work around the open chords, like the chords of E and A. Specifically in E, you can play a lot of different, you just basically play around the scale, but instead of playing a scale, like I said before, your last note of each little passage of 3 or 4 notes is an open string, be it an E string, a B or a G or a D or an A or a bottom E, whichever. Now, you can actually use them all. Check this out. So we'll do it slow. It's on the E string, 5th fret, 3rd fret, and then open string. And again, bring your right hand technique in and mute the string so that it doesn't ring and go wild, and it'll be a lot more punchy. Now move your first finger down 1 fret and incorporate the 2nd fret. Now we're in the key of E, and you can do exactly the same thing on the B string. Now to the G string, it's a different configuration. It is 4th fret and 2nd fret and open string. It's the same thing on the D string. Now you want to try all 4 at once? If you practice it, you can do that. Yet again, I emphasize it, although I'm not doing it, you should try and learn to do this kind of thing really slow and keep your thumb relaxed and don't apply pressure. It's much easier the way I'm doing it to just apply pressure to the back of the neck like so, because it gives you an automatic pivoting point for your fingers, and it's not so easy, you'll find, if you try and rest your thumb over the top of the fretboard, but in the long run you'll find it more beneficial because you'll have more dexterity and more freedom and the ability to move around the fretboard much more that way. So all of these things I'm showing you, I would suggest that you take 1 a day and really spend a lot of time doing each and every one, because they take a lot of time to get over. As you can see, I haven't even got them yet myself. So pull-offs, you can go right up the neck using the open string. I'll show you how. Like I said before, they work mostly in the keys of E and A, and particularly in E. And most rock and roll songs are in E. Anyway, and if you're a songwriter and you want to play things like that, just write songs in E. Very simple solution. Okay, earlier at the start of the tape, you may have seen me playing pull-offs.